Hi, this is Alex from phpacademy.org with a video tutorial for the new Boston. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the has traversing function in jQuery, and we're going to be searching a particular element for sub-elements or children of that element, and we're going to be using the unordered list as an example. Now I'm going to create an example that's perhaps more relevant, and we're going to use this in an if statement to check if a UL has any li elements within it. And we're almost going to be creating it in the theme of a menu builder. So for example, we're going to create a menu 1, and let's go ahead to our browser. You can see that we've just got menu 1 there. So we're going to be creating a menu 1, and the menu is going to be made up of UL and li elements. So for example, we could have menu item 1 in here, and that would produce something like this. Now let's go ahead and let's just go ahead and style this quickly first of all. So the UL is going to have padding of 0 and margin of 0. We'll just leave in the well, no, it automatically gets rid of the circle graphics, but there we go. So we'll have a menu like this where we can go ahead and add more items. So for example, menu item 2. But what we want to happen is we want a default message to appear if no LIs exist within an unordered list. So at the moment you just see nothing, but I want a little message to appear under here that says there are no LIs, and we search this UL element for children elements of LI type. So inside ext.js, let's go ahead and just set up our document once it's ready. So document.ready, inside the function to be run when the document is ready. Now what we want to do is we want to use each to loop through each UL on the page, because we might have, say, more than one menu. So let's go ahead and use a selector and select UL, and then we want to say .each. So inside here we run a function for each li or UL element on the page. So for example, we could say this dot append a, just as an example. You can see that, oh no, a hasn't been appended, so sorry, that's this like this. So you can see that a has been appended there. If we go ahead and we create another menu, so menu 2, you can see that a is again appended after here. So let's just get rid of that for now. We'll be showing an example a bit later. So let's forget this line here. What we want to do is for each UL element, we want to first of all, I'm going to create a variable called this selector, which is equal to this. This just means that we don't have to keep using $sign and this. And then what I want to do is create my if statement, and my if statement is going to be, or the condition is going to be, if an li element exists within or if an li element doesn't exist within a UL parent, I want to go ahead and create the message empty menu. So I say this selector dot has, and this is where we're using has now, and we can specify a particular element in here like li. We can also use a variety of other selectors. So if you want to check has and wants to check something like contains, for example, you can do. Just any selectors that are relevant to what you're doing should work. So we want to say dot length, which will return a length, and if that is equal to 0, that means that an li element doesn't exist within the current UL that we're looping through. So we're checking for LIs, and if that equals 0, we know that they don't. So we can go ahead and say this cell dot after empty menu. So now what's going to happen is, because we don't have any elements in here, once we loop through this UL, we are checking if it has any li. We're returning the length, which essentially will return the length of how many it does have. So for example, if we had 2, it would return a length of 2. In this case we wouldn't run this line, but if it did equal nothing, which it does at the moment, that is equal to nothing, and therefore we return this line. So when we refresh now, you see that we've got empty menu. Now if we go ahead and actually create some li elements in here, so menu item 1, you can see that will disappear and we'll have menu item 1 instead. Now I understand that this isn't really a relevant example in terms of actually a website you might have, because you'd be in control of the code. However, if you were creating some kind of plugin that required li elements to be within a ul parent, you might actually want to include has to make sure that your plugin is being structured properly on the front end. So it's extremely useful in that sense. I'll just go ahead and add another one to this and create another menu just so you can see. So I'm going to create some empty ul tags there. And when I refresh, we've got menu item 1, which has got menu 1, which has got menu item 1 and menu item 2, and menu 2, which is empty menu. As soon as we then go ahead and add some more elements to this, so li menu item 1, you can see that that message again disappears. So it's quite easy or useful for validation within, like I said, plugin building. If you're making someone follow a specific structure on the front end with regards to the HTML, you might want to use has to double check this and maybe feed back some information to the user based on what the front end contains. So that's quite a useful way of using it, but for now that's the has function in jQuery.